Hey guys, good morning. Oh god, I don't know why I'm tired. I think it's because the clock went back an hour or went forward an hour or what the fuck ever, and my body's still trying to get used to it. But it is nonstop November. Um with me, I'm going to try to do at least one video every day if possible. I'm not going to make any promises, but I am going to try to do one video every day. Um It'll most likely be match reviews, especially since I have a lot of match reviews of matches that I want to review. So it'll probably be that. And then I will be reviewing NXT TakeOver War Games. I won't be doing a talk video for it. I'm just gonna review it. And depending on how many, and this is, yeah, depending on, so yeah, um, and depending on how many women's matches are going to be on the card, I might do two reviews or I might just do one, only because I can do two reviews on the main roster because I know for sure that there will most likely be two or more women's matches. So I could go in depth with those, and I would need a separate video to do that. Whereas, I might not need to do that for NXT. So it just depends. Um, so yeah. Uh, I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway, let's get started. First, the rumors. While they look to be done for now, Trish Stratus and Lita are expected to be back in 2019. Insider says there were plans at one point for Team Bestie at WrestleMania 35. Even though it didn't happen at Evolution, there's still talk of women's tag titles, especially after reports WWE officials were handing out "We Want Women Tag Championship" signs at the pay-per-view. And I did those two together because I feel like they're linked together. I definitely think women tag titles are coming soon. Stephanie herself has said that they're coming soon. So my guess is they want to crown women tag champions at SummerSlam. They want to crown them at not SummerSlam, at WrestleMania, which would make sense. So why not like introduce them at Royal Rumble? Kind of like what they did for the women's championship for the Divas championship match at WrestleMania 32. You know? Why not do that? So I feel like they will be coming soon, but they want to save them for a special event. And what better way than to do it at the Royal Rumble, where we know there's going to be a women's Royal Rumble match, and we know that that's going to set one title shot. They're probably going to be building the other title match outside of that, so why not have a third women's match to crown women tag champions, and maybe another secondary women's match that's big enough to be at WrestleMania? Like, I could already think off the top of my head the four teams that should be in that match: Bellas, Team Bestie, Iconics, and Sasha and Bailey. Simple. Those four teams is the ideal women's championship, inaugural women tag championship match at WrestleMania. Let's be real here. And all four of those women said that they want to face each other in some way or another. So why not do it at WrestleMania? And you can make a you can make a you can make a case for either one, for any of them. Team Bestie, you have that legendary two women's trailblazers that you want to set the standard. You have a legendary actual tag team in the Bellas that are gonna set standards that the um you want the tag team championships to have and to bring. That's why they were considering Nikki to be the first SmackDown ever women's champion. The Iconics, up and comers, women that are wanting to prove themselves, women that are proving that the new era is here. Not Becky, Sasha and Bailey, two women that went through so much and they finally get their crowning moment together. Like, you know, there's a case for any of them. And like I said, that match, not trying to be funny, it built itself. It really does. You have two legendary tag teams in the Bellas and in Lita and Trish. And then you have two great tag teams that could use this as not a stepping stone, but a career defining moment in Sasha and Bailey and the Iconics. More the Iconics than Sasha and Bailey because Bailey and Sasha have both had career defining moments already, as have the Bellas and Lita and Trish. But I feel like that's probably what's gonna happen if they do happen. Trish and Lita have all said they want it. All the women involved have said that they want it. Stephanie wants it. I think they're gonna happen. And I can't wait. And like I said, before the Bellas retire, they need a shot with those championships. They could drop it to Sasha or Bailey, to the Iconics, to Sonya and Mandy, to the Riot Squad, what the fuck ever. I don't care. But the Bellas deserve a run with those titles. If they don't get a run with the singles championships, they get a run with the women's championships. And you're lying to yourself if you don't agree. But yeah. So yeah. I definitely agree that Team Bestie will probably be back for WrestleMania 35. And if they are, it'll probably be for Women Tag Championships. So, yeah. And then Nia and Ronda is supposed to be for TLC for the Raw Women's Championship. Makes sense. It's a nice, they're building up Becky versus Ronda for Survivor Series, which has been announced. So they need to build up some momentum for Nia going into Survivor Series, going into TLC. So her having like this mini feud with Tamina, it makes sense. So that way she's seen as a threat when she does face Ronda. Because technically, I don't think Nia got her rematch after Money in the Bank. So, yeah. So those are the 3 rumors. And I agree that all of them will happen. So, yeah. And now let's get into some comments. Damn it. Okay. This was about some asshole basically trying to discredit Nikki and say that she doesn't care about wrestling and all this shit. Of course, blase, blase. And this, I feel like, was the perfect rebuttal. Making assumptions. And this is basically in a response to what this asshole said. This asshole was basically making assumptions about why Nikki is back. And this is what this asshole had to say. Making assumptions. She's still around because it's the best chance to make money. Her other ventures don't pay the bills quite well, I imagine. And someone said, or maybe she's still around because she genuinely enjoys what she's doing and is dedicated to her fans. You make your assumption off I don't know what. I'm assuming personal bias. Correct if assumed wrong. My assumption is based off attending her free invite-only pep rally on Saturday, witnessing this woman experience humility, and break down and cry being overwhelmed by the support. I was lucky enough to talk to her personally for less than a minute, but her genuineness was very apparent. Her other ventures appear to be doing fine. I think a startup wine company that runs out of stock within half an hour, and a startup clothing line that runs out of sizes small, medium, and large is a good thing for business. But what do I know? I'm just a CPA. I like to see you argue the relative, the valid, I don't know that word, of her being a wrestler. Oh, the valid, I don't know how to say it, but he's trying to argue, I'll explain it. Argue of her being a wrestler with Charlotte. Oh, basically saying I'd like to see, oh my God, I cannot talk today. Good Lord, my tongue is being weird. I like to see you try arguing her value as a wrestler and um her you know stance as one, being a wrestler with Charlotte, Paige, Sasha, and Natty, who give Nikki rave reviews in Nikki's wrestling ability? Or are you going to assume that they said that to be political and because they're friendly with her? Because assumptions is all you got. Basically, he said, you can't assume that she's only here for money when multiple people in the actual business, male, female, producers, wrestlers, corporate, have all said otherwise. You're literally only going off of your personal bias. That's it. And that's how you know it's hate. And she said, and someone else said, Nikki did her part and she did it well. Call her a diva, superstar, whatever. She's one of the best to do it. Sold the story, has some good spots. Let's not forget she almost had a career neck-ending surgery and frankly didn't have to come back at all, but she did anyways. Respect is earned, not given, and she earned mine. And then someone basically tried to say that Nikki didn't deserve to main event Evolution, and someone basically said, then who did? Because if you want to talk about Evolution, Nikki being a a Diva Search reject to wrestler that wasn't given enough time, to ballet, to total diva, to amazing wrestler, like that is evolution. Nikki Bella is the definition of an evolution, same as Trish, same as Alita. But y'all don't want to hear that though. And then someone also said, and this was a review of the match, of Nikki and Ronda's match. They said, I think that was the higher end of expectations and definitely good enough to seem worthy of the main event spot, even though the previous show stealer preceded it. The Bellas using double teams to gain the advantage protected Rousey, and Rousey's early cockiness did seem to draw some fans into cheering the Bellas, especially females in the crowd. Totally true. This was said under the AfterBuzz review for Evolution. Stop crying over when a great match happens. Be happy you saw that great match. Many Manias have main events that weren't as good according to Smark standards as the earlier matches. Becky is a heel. Having a heel win despite being cheered by kayfabe insulting Smarks is not a great closer. Shayna is incredible, and her getting help from the other horsewomen means those other horsewomen are heels going with Shayna. Then helping babyface Ronda wouldn't make sense, and it would have made Ronda seem incapable of handling herself. The face needed a struggle, not help. Riot Squad was amazing, and their performance made it look like they were going to win. They remind me of the Shield with fluent, quick tags, and watching each other's back like Sarah did with the baseball slide to Bayley, and the sisterhood they always show. And also, you don't know if they'll forget about the women's tag titles until they make them. More titles mean more women get to shine and meaningful matches. with consent with constant uses of tag teams already in so many 2 to 3 women groups, there's basically already a tag division. I love to see Ronda and Shayna team up, but to feud a build-up feud based off of the fact that Shayna keeps wanting to injure people and cheat while Ronda simply wants to win is honorable. I think that a much better story than Becky being jealous of Charlotte constantly winning and Smarks taking that as justified because they don't seem to figure out what kayfabe is. You're forgetting the politics and you're just watching. Exactly. Though we shouldn't even be talking about the supposed politics. This is a show. It's characters wins and lose matches. Said characters have certain abilities and stats. It's not MMA in that those stats have to answer reality. True fans respect the art. True fans who respect the art should simply embrace their favorite characters and show them support no matter how hard they're being pushed. Social media and entitlement that comes with it has created a paranoia among fans. I love this wrestler. Push him or push her. Wait, you're pushing too hard. Social media has given us way too much power. We don't run the show. The show shouldn't be controlled by the fans because fans aren't all in agreement and they have no clue how to run a promotion, let alone a million to billion-dollar empire. And also her Instagram is fire. Ugh. Totally agree with that. Totally agree with all of that. The best match, the main event story, or the main event match isn't always the best match on the card. But a lot of the times it is the best main event because of the story mixed in with the match. And because of the story mixed in with the match, on top of mainstream appeal and the fact that it delivered, Nikki and Ronda was the perfect main event. And like he said, lots of main events aren't good by smart standards. Guess what? You're not the only fucking standard. And not trying to be funny, you're not the standard that matters, in all honesty. And like I said before, I feel like women tag titles would be perfect because we already have like I don't know how many fucking women tag teams. Why not give them tag titles and build a story? Like, not trying to be funny, a lot of people think that there aren't stories. There are stories when it comes to the women tag matches that happens. There are. Why not have women tag championships and built around that? Why not? And like I said, as long as they have it be co-branded, it should work out fine. And I definitely agree with the whole social media gives fans way too much power. Like, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's bad because they feel like they could run a show when they change their mind more often than I change fucking t-shirts. And that's damn near every fucking hour. Like, y'all don't know how to run your fucking Instagram, let alone a goddamn multi-million-dollar company. So why don't you let the people that actually been doing this shit for some odd fucking decades do their job and you just be a fan and watch? This comment was about an asshole that completely trashed Evolution in a way that you knew that this person was a sexist pig. And this comment, in my opinion, was the perfect way to to demolish his comment. Thanks for not having commentary point out what a big deal Ember eliminating Sasha was. You mean like how Cole said Asuka was his pick to win when she was eliminated? Thanks for having The Rock's cousin win the Battle Royal when you had a star-making moment staring you in the face when you could have had Ember win. So having the biggest monster in the match win was a bad booking decision. Thank you for having good workers like Sasha, Bayley, and Ruby stuck in a nothing 6-woman tag. What were they supposed to do? All 3 women were on Raw and there was only one title for the women to go after. So what is the match that they should have had? Especially considering how amazing that match was. Thanks for having Tony and Io go only 10 minutes when they needed 15. Yes, let's have let's have two least known people go longer when they barely could keep the audience because they are not known. Thanks for forcing the Becky is a heel narrative despite how preposterous it is considering your audience reactions. Are you really complaining about Becky and her spot and persona? Thanks for having Nikki main event a show that countless other women would have torn the house down with Ronda instead. I'm not a huge Nikki fan, but what would have been better last night? Ember with no build, Sasha getting beat, Nia without an explanation of why she should get a spot. If you came away from this last night, if you came away from last night feeling like this, I suggest you stop watching WWE. Me too. Like, honestly, if you're going to take away, like, honestly, not trying to be funny, all that shit they complained about was legit nothing but fucking nitpicks. That was nothing but nitpicks. If you're literally going to take away nothing but nitpicks, stop watching the company. Just stop. I'm sorry. Just stop. Point blank period. Just stop. And then someone said, I really cannot understand where you're coming from. Vince is the reason we have wrestling is in America. Is he perfect? No, but to say stuff works in spite of him is ridiculous. Only 2 matches had decent build story going into last night. I guess you haven't watched SmackDown at all in the last 2 months. And also Bella and Rousey had some solid build also. Yeah, those legends kept deserving people off the show, and Lita and Trish really stunk it up. Get out of here. Basically, he complained about legends coming back, and basically when it came out that Vince basically booked the show, people were surprised and like, oh, it worked in spite of him. And I'm like, y'all motherfuckers act like Vince don't know what the hell he's doing. That is annoying. Stay your ass in your fucking basement eating Cheetos. Like, you are not a business mind. You are not a CEO. Unless you can show me credentials, stay your ass in your place. I can at least give some constructive criticism because I've been in similar situations to events. Not nearly as high, but I have. So I know the way that he thinks, the way that he does things. And most of the time, more often than not, he gets it correct more than he gets it wrong. A lot of the times, people think he gets it wrong because he's not pushing every fucking internet darling, despite the fact that those internet darlings wouldn't draw. Like, seriously, if you're going to only take away negatives from the show, stop fucking watching WWE. You're basically ruining it for yourself. And this, I cannot wait to get into. Confused as to where some of you 12-year-olds who aren't even comfortable enough to have your own damn face in your profile picture are finding the courage to sit on the internet and berate a woman for the way she looks. It's embarrassing. Humans have muscle. When they perform extremely physical tasks that engage said muscles get harder and bigger. I've said it before, but demanding athleticism from a woman while also degrading her for her looking like an athlete is paradoxical, sexist, and absurdly stupid. Shayna doesn't need to get blonde weave or wiggle her hips to appease your singular and misogynistic expectations of a female performer. The woman has done nothing but consistently improve since touching the ground in NXT and will no doubt continue to do so. She and Shane showed out tonight and delivered an incredible match. That is her job, and that is the only expectation of her that any of us has the right to. Totally agree. It's so funny how, okay, let me just say this. The site above is basically going under a whole revamp because of how people on the site are, even some of the staff, when it came to the women. Basically, this site was a site that I was a part of since it started in 2008. And this site was a site that was supposed to be about supporting women's wrestling, wanting women to be given better and things like that. And I've noticed it, and I didn't notice it at first, but like around 2010, when I really got, reading comprehension skills, and I really started to like understand what they were saying and what they were doing, I realized that that site is misogynistic, it's sexist, and it's basically everything that the site wasn't supposed to be. And these are the people, the staff too. The staff were sometimes sexist and misogynistic. And mind you, this is a site that is supposed to be about supporting all women, no matter what they look like, where they come from, their background, supporting them. If they're talented, support them. And these people, for some dumbass reason, degrade Shayna for the way that she looks and how she wrestles. Okay? And yet, they love Jazz, someone that, when you think about it, is similar to Shayna in a lot of ways. Her build, the way that she wrestles. Like, I love Nikki, but I know that Nikki is not the only woman, but I know that Nikki is not the only standard in WWE. I love Nikki because she has a great character, great in-ring skills, great mic skills, and I can connect with her. That's why I love Nikki. I felt that way since I saw her in Divas Search 2006. If someone feels that way about Shayna, they should not have to worry about people saying that they're dumb or that they like a she-male because you're making fun of the fact that this woman has muscle. That is bullshit. It shouldn't matter what she looks like, where she came from, none of that. If she is consistently improving and is consistently showing why she deserves to be here, it shouldn't fucking matter. It shouldn't. And I'm so happy that that site is taking away its Redux discussions and shit, because those places were toxic as fuck. And I may finally be able to read the articles and to read the comments without having to worry about reading all this sexist, misogynistic bullshit. I'm so happy. So yeah, if you're a women's wrestling fan, don't judge them by their talent, not by how they look, not by what they came from. Because as much as people hate to admit it, Charlotte didn't want to be a wrestler. Becky did not want to be a wrestler. Nikki didn't want to be a wrestler. Okay? Trish didn't want to be a wrestler. And guess what? They are some of the biggest names in WWE ever. Like, let's not do that. Let's not. Because those same people that y'all judge, not trying to be funny, they have more courage and more confidence and more, what's the word I'm looking for? They have a much bigger platform and, Lord have mercy, I cannot think of the word. They have a higher calling than you. So for you guys to judge them and berate her because she's muscular and she doesn't have big ass boobs or she doesn't wiggle her hips is bullshit. If she's talented, she's talented. It doesn't matter what she looks like. It doesn't matter where she came from. The same people said that about Nia Jax. And look at Nia. She's improved leaps and bounds since fucking NXT. And she is one of their biggest baby faces now. Look at the Bellas. People that thought would be nothing but models and valets. Two of the biggest stars this company's ever seen. Look at Trish, someone that thought was only eye candy, became one of the most known women's wrestlers in WWE. In WWE wise, I'm saying. Look at Charlotte, someone that did not want to be a wrestler, is probably going to be one of the first main events of WrestleMania. Nikki was the first main event of the first ever All Women's pay per view. Like, AJ, someone that, like Rey Mysterio, broke down barriers. Like, Beth, someone that had to prove that she was good because she wasn't a model type diva. Candice Michelle, someone that had to prove that she was good because she was a model type diva. Like, you have all these different backgrounds and, women, and all y'all do is judge them based off how they look, where they come from, relationships. But then when people come back at you, you don't have a rebuttal. All you have is, oh, you're a fan of theirs, you're dumb. Like, no. Get your ass off this site then. I'm so fucking happy that revamp is going on. So damn happy. And then someone said, I don't agree with everything Vince does, i.e. Crown Jewel. But this popular notion on the internet that the guy who has built a multi-billion-dollar company in the wrestling business has no idea what he's doing is laughable. I agree. And, like, there's really no other way, there's really, like, nothing else we can say. I agree. The fact that people on the internet think that they know more than Vince is fucking laughable. It's fucking laughable. And then when Vince ends up proving them wrong, they want to give everyone but him credit. And I'm like, nah, you just thought you knew smarter than the person that made this company what it is. That's on you. And then someone on AfterBuzz, under the AfterBuzz, said Trish and Lita are there because they're gonna have women tag titles and WWE wants them to be a part of it. Totally agree. Trish and Lita will definitely be a part of women tag titles when they happen. Definitely agree with that. This was Nikki's post after Evolution. Last night was a dream come true. I headlined and main evented the first ever all women's pay-per-view with a truly incredible opponent, Ronda Rousey, and with my partner of 12 years, Brie Bella, by my side, to a sold-out crowd. And on top of that, I got to share the ring all night with some of the top female wrestlers in the world. Every woman who came through that curtain gave it their all, and my goodness, it made one of the best pay-per-views in history, which I definitely agree with. You felt the heart and passion, even from the crowd. And the Bella Army, you came in strong for us Bellas and the Bellalution. Your love and support runs deep. Thank you, I love you. Can't wait to see what more we do, Bella Army. I woke up crying like Nicole, get it together, LOL. But happy tears, maybe some sad. I'm happy from all the love and support I received, I couldn't believe it. And a little sad of the ones that couldn't be there to share the moment with me. But goodness, Bird, which is Birdie, cheered loud for her auntie Coco. Loved seeing most of the Bella fam ringside, but Ronda, this isn't over. I still get another chance to get that championship in Spain, England, Germany, and Italy. So I hope you're ready for your fearless leader to come home to you and bring that title home. And people love to say that this woman isn't passionate. Like, legit, Nikki's posts on Instagram are some of my favorite things ever. Like, you could hear her passion through your phone. And Nikki is doing house shows. So I definitely think that the Bellas will still be around, but they'll probably be around a lot closer when it comes to women tag titles, TLC time. Okay, so this let Brie hashtag on IG that went absolutely fucking nowhere. It's dumb. I'm sorry, it's dumb. These people that want Brie be on a separate show and this and this, you know these people aren't real Bella fans. Because how many times has the fucking Bella said that this return is about them together, not them apart? How many times have they fucking said that? We all knew that they were both going to get a single storyline when coming back. Breeze, once again, had hers first with Daniel in her pay-per-view match first with Daniel, and Nikki's had hers with Ronda. And let's not act like Brie didn't play a part in Nikki's story. She did. It wasn't like she was just some sideline getting beat up. Brie talked in the story, and she played a role in the match. Just like Nikki did in her story with Stephanie. And not trying to be funny, we could say as Bella fans, as the Bella Army, that Brie co-main evented SummerSlam 2014 with Stephanie McMahon, and that Nikki main evented the first ever All-Women's pay-per-view with Ronda Rousey. Both are two major accomplishments. Why the fuck can't we be happy for them? Why does it have to be let Brie shine when, not trying to be funny, y'all are basically saying y'all don't think that Brie is a big enough star to be able to shine right alongside Nikki. That's what y'all are saying. Y'all are saying that she has to be apart from Nikki to be able to shine, which basically means y'all don't think she's a big enough star. That's basically what y'all are saying. And might I add that Brie has a fucking baby. If WWE were to give Brie a storyline or something that may be long term, and something with Birdie comes up and she has to cancel or she can't do it, that hinders storylines for Brie. So that's one of the big reasons why they will probably push Nikki a little bit higher than Brie. On top of the fact that Nikki is able to work house shows because she's not a mom, and on top of the fact that Nikki is able to do a lot more in ring-wise than Brie is. But it's not like Brie was just sidelined. Brie was a part of the story with Ronda just as much as Nikki was a part of the story with Stephanie. Like, this is how y'all know y'all not real Bella fans, man. Like, let's compare the Bella's careers from 2013 till now. 2013, Brie got the singles match. Nikki got injured, okay? Before that, they were both fairly equal. Then Brie got her singles push. She got the singles match against Natalya at SummerSlam, okay? She got, I think, 2 championship matches against AJ, one at Battleground, one at Hell in a Cell, while in a main event storyline with Daniel Bryan, okay? She proved her in-ring work stepped up 1,000%, okay? And she was booked as one of the top faces, all right? Let's compare Nikki. So that year was Brie's, when you think about it. 2014, Brie was pushed all the way up until 2014 SummerSlam. She had the main event storyline with Bryan and Stephanie. She even got a title match with Paige because of the storyline with Bryan and Stephanie. Okay? Her and Nikki showed out at WrestleMania, showed that if anyone should be champion, it was one of them. Okay? Brie was a big part in Bryan's main event storyline. Alright? She got to co-main event SummerSlam with Stephanie McMahon, despite the fact that Nikki, in all honesty, should have been the one who got that match, considering that she was the one that was tortured. Okay? And up until then, the only thing that Nikki had was the fact that people were constantly noticing her improvements in the ring and her connection with the crowd. After SummerSlam, that's when Nikki's push began as a heel, as the top heel. Okay? Where she became the top heel, she had an organic build to the title with first her feud with Brie, then her championship, with first her match, her championship match where she showed why she is on par with AJ and Paige. Then her feud with Brie, which she won. Then her winning the number one contenders match. Then her feud to the title. That was Nikki's push. And then Nikki got the title reign push, right? But in all honesty, not trying to be funny, in my opinion, Brie's push in 2013 was on equivalent to Nikki's push in 2015. Only difference is that Nikki had a championship. When you think about it, Nikki had a championship run in 2015. Brie had, I think, a single SummerSlam match, 2 championship matches, a main event storyline with Daniel, started a main event storyline with Stephanie, and proved that if anyone could take the title from AJ, it was her. Alright? So in my opinion, 2013 for Brie and 2015 for Nikki are on par with each other. Especially, well, not match quality wise, because I feel like Nikki's matches were better, but definitely for sure they both showed why they're top stars in those years, for sure. Okay? So Nikki had her title reign, she became longest reigning Diva champion, blah blah blah. That was Nikki's push. She did amazing in it. She proved why she was a top star. Cool. Nikki left. Brie floundered for a little bit. Then she got her storyline for the title with with Charlotte. Okay? That was a good storyline. People really got behind Brie again. People were really excited for that. And that match delivered. Okay? Then she had her main event. Then she had her WrestleMania storyline, which ended in her semi-retirement match. Okay? So she had her little singles run in 2015 after Nikki left with her feud with kind of Team Bad, her feud with Charlotte for the title, and then her main event storyline. Cool, right? Then she retired semi to have Birdie. Nikki returns 2016 SummerSlam. Nikki didn't have a feud for the title. She only had one title match, and that was Backlash. She did not touch the title after that. She had all side feuds. One with Carmella, one with Natalya, and one with Miz and Maurice leading into WrestleMania and her WrestleMania storyline and win. So, even with that, Nikki and Brie are on level playing fields. They came back at Royal Rumble 2018. They were the last 3 in the match. Okay? They were the last 3 in the match. They revisited Nikki turning on Brie. And Nikki was eliminated by Asuka. Cool. They needed a veteran to put Asuka over. They decided it was Nikki. They leave for a little bit. They come back at SummerSlam 2018. Clearly we saw the lead up to Nikki versus Ronda right there. It was always going to be Nikki versus Ronda. Always. Because Nikki always had more to say. She was the first person to hug Ronda, and she was always by the title when it came to Ronda. They returned on Raw to announce that they are returning to in-ring action the next week. And then Brie returned on SmackDown, the SmackDown after that, to start her storyline with Daniel and Miz and Maurice. Like, not trying to be funny, in my opinion, from 2013 till now, the Bellas are on even playing fields when it comes to their careers. That's just my opinion. And once again, y'all really not Bella fans if you don't listen to what they actually say. They've said multiple times that this story is about them together. And considering that Bree's a mom and her first priority is Birdie, Nikki was probably always going to get a little bit more push than Bree. But it wasn't going to be act of not. But it wasn't going to be as. But it wasn't going. But it wasn't going to be hugely bigger. Um. And then someone said the only team bestie in the women tag title match or against the Bellas or Sasha and Bailey is worthy for Mania. Totally agree. Totally agree. That's why I think the Mania match for women tag titles should be Team Bestie versus the Bellas versus the Iconics versus Sasha and Bailey. I feel like it writes itself. It's perfect, and all the team involved deserve that spot. And then Nikki is also scheduled to work Raw live events on the tour against Natalya. So Nikki is definitely keeping herself in in-ring shape. She is definitely still gonna be there. It might not be on TV, but she's still wrestling for the company. Brie, I'm sure, is gonna be training with Daniel. So hopefully she gets in ring shape as well. So yeah, that was my comments, rumors for the week. And I will see you guys in the next one. And by the way, I wasn't trying to degrade Brie or anything like that, but the people that act like Brie's just this misused talent and Nikki's just been above Brie her whole fucking career, like, no. And like, no. Nikki just happens to be, not trying to be funny, the biggest star. But since coming back in 2013, in my opinion, when you look at both their careers in parallel, they've been equal. But I will see you guys later. Bye.